Okay, class. Today, I don't want to talk about grammar. I don't want to talk about tests. I want to talk about something real. I want to talk about fear. Let me ask you all something. How many of you are scared to speak English? Be honest. There's no shame here. Raise your hand if you feel scared. Thank you. It's okay to feel that way. Fear is something many students feel, but they don't always say it. Today, I want us to share our stories. When did you feel afraid to speak in English? Why were you scared? What happened? I promise you, this is a safe place. I can start, Mr. Adams. I still remember the first time I had to speak in English in public. It was 2 years ago. I was at a coffee shop and there was this American tourist who asked me for directions. I understood him perfectly. I knew where he wanted to go. I knew the words, but my heart started beating so fast. My hands started to sweat. I froze. I couldn't say anything. My mind went blank. I just pointed and said, "There." It was so simple, but I was shaking. After he left, I felt terrible. I kept thinking, why couldn't I speak? Why was I so afraid? Thank you, Daniel, for sharing that. I know that feeling. It's very real. You know what happened? It wasn't your English that failed you, it was your fear. Fear can make your mind freeze. But here's what you can do next time: slow down. Take one breath before you answer. Many people try to answer too quickly because they feel pressured. But you can take your time. When your heart is racing, your brain can't work well. One slow breath can make a big difference. Also, remember, the person talking to you is not your enemy. Most people are patient if you stay calm. I wish I had known that then. I always thought I had to speak fast to sound good. Fast English is not better English. Calm English is better English. Mr. Adams, I had a similar experience, but mine was worse. I was in a job interview. It was for a very good company. I studied the vocabulary, I prepared my answers, I even practiced with my brother. But when I sat in the interview room and the manager asked me in English, "Tell me about yourself," I just forgot everything. I could feel my face getting hot. I knew the words, but my mouth didn't move. I said one sentence, but then I stopped. I said, "Sorry, I don't know how to say this." And I just wanted to disappear. After that, I couldn't get the job. I felt like I failed. Thank you for being so brave, Luis. I know that must have been very painful. But you didn't fail. You had a difficult moment. It happens. You know, job interviews are one of the most stressful situations, even for native speakers. They make everyone nervous. Here's my advice for you. When you prepare for an interview, don't memorize long sentences. Prepare keywords. Prepare little pieces you can connect. When you try to memorize everything, your brain can panic if you forget just one word. But if you remember key ideas, you can build your answer step by step. Also, practice speaking under pressure. You can ask a friend to make you nervous on purpose. This helps you learn how to breathe and speak when you are stressed. I never thought about practicing the pressure. I always practiced alone, very calm. Exactly. But life is not always calm. You need to practice feeling nervous so that when the real moment comes, your brain knows what to do. That makes sense. It's not just about the words, it's about how we feel. Yes, speaking English is not only about grammar, it's also about courage. Fear makes us small, but when we talk about it, we take away some of its power. Thank you, Mr. Adams. I always thought I was the only one who felt this way. You are not alone. Many people feel the same, even if they never say it. That's why we're talking about it today. And you're both already stronger because you shared your stories. Thank you again, Daniel and Louis. You were both very brave to tell your stories. Now, is there anyone else who would like to share? Remember, this is a safe place. We are here to help each other. I can share, Mr. Adams. I didn't want to talk, but now I think it's important. My story happened last summer. My family went to visit some friends from Canada. They don't speak our language, only English. At dinner, they asked me questions about school and my hobbies, but I couldn't answer. I was so scared to make mistakes in front of everyone. I just smiled and said, "It's okay," to everything. I laughed at the wrong moments because I didn't know what to say. I felt so small, so stupid. After dinner, I went to my room and cried. I felt like I was not good enough to speak English. Since that day, I always feel afraid when I meet English speakers. Thank you, Javier. I'm really proud of you for sharing that. I know that was very painful. And I want you to know you are never stupid. You were just afraid. That's very human. Many people feel the same when they have to speak in front of others, especially native speakers. You know what helps? You have to start with very small steps. For example, in situations like that, you can prepare three simple answers that you feel comfortable saying. I like sports. My favorite food is pizza. I go to high school. These are easy sentences that you can use quickly. When you start with small successes, your brain says, "Oh, I can do this." And when you feel comfortable, you can say more. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present and being part of the conversation. But what if they laugh at my mistakes? That's a good question. The truth is, most people don't laugh. And if someone does laugh, that's not your problem. That shows who they are, not who you are. You are learning a new language. That is something to respect. And remember this, you only get better when you try. Mistakes are not your enemy, they are your teachers. I guess I never thought about it like that. I always felt I needed to speak perfectly or say nothing. Perfect English is not the goal. Communication is the goal. And you can communicate even with small, simple sentences. Start small, grow slowly, and be kind to yourself. Mr. Adams, I also want to share something. I always feel afraid to speak English in class, not just outside. Here, too. I remember last month you asked me to read a sentence. It was a simple sentence, but when you called my name, my stomach hurt. My hands were cold. I was shaking. I tried to read, but my voice was shaking too. I was so embarrassed. After that, I was afraid to speak again in class. Even now, when I know the answer, I don't raise my hand because I'm scared I will speak wrong and everyone will look at me. Thank you for telling us, Diego. That is something I hear from many students. I know that feeling. It's called stage fright, the fear of speaking in front of people. It's very common, and it happens in all languages, even in your own. But you know what helps? Practice speaking in small groups, not in front of the whole class. Sometimes, big groups can feel like a lot of eyes watching you. But if you practice in pairs or small groups, your brain starts to relax. It's like learning to swim in shallow water before going to the deep water. But what if I make mistakes in small groups? That's even better. In small groups, it's okay to make mistakes. In fact, you should try to make mistakes. That's how you learn. And also, Diego, you can practice reading out loud at home. Read to yourself in front of a mirror or record your voice on your phone. The more you hear your own voice in English, the more normal it will feel. I think I can try that. I always feel strange hearing my voice in English. Yes, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you will feel. You don't have to be perfect to be brave. And remember, in this classroom, nobody is laughing at you. We are a team. We are all learning together. Thank you, Mr. Adams. I always thought I was the only one who felt this way. Me too. It feels good to know we are not alone. Exactly. You are not alone. All of us have felt this fear. But the best way to beat fear is to face it slowly, step by step. And we will do that together in this class. Thank you for this talk today, Mr. Adams. I feel like I understand my fear more now. It's not just about English, it's about believing in myself. Yes, me too. I feel like now I have some tools to fight my fear. I'm proud of all of you. You were very brave to speak today. Fear is normal. Mistakes are normal. The important thing is never stop trying. Never stop speaking. You are stronger than your fear. And what about you guys? When did you feel afraid to speak English? Why were you scared? What happened? Tell us in the comments. Have an excellent day. If you could improve your English a little more, please subscribe to the channel and share this video with a friend. Thank you very much for your support.